Hello, I'm Tom, welcome to Upavon. Today in this fly tying tutorial we're going to be tying one of my favourite flies and definitely my favourite reservoir dry fly, and that is the Crippled Midge. This is a black version, so in the vise I've got a size 12 dry fly strong black nickel. This is from Fario. Gone for the black UTC in 70 denier. So start, catch on the thread, run about 3/4 of the way down the hook shank, just break away. Now we're going to tie in the post, so this is going to be the Upavon breather yarn. So it's got it's made up of two yarns, so I want it slightly thicker than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim away a piece, and then I'm going to double the thread over. It's quite fine material, so it won't add too much bulk, but I just wanted a little bit more. So I'll catch in there, make sure it's sat nicely on the top of the hook shank, and then we're going to run the thread down, catching in as we go. Now trim away. I'm going to trim a little bit longer than the bend of the hook, and that's the back breather. Now you can rib it with various different things. You can rib with wire, you can rib with clear, buzzer wrap. However, I quite like, on the black and the claret versions, some medium Opal Mirage. Just helps to bring the fish up. So I'm just going to trim myself a little piece of that. And that's going to be the rib. Now for the body, I'm going to use the black hollow dub. Really buoyant material. Just going to put a little pinch on, we don't need loads. Make a little dubbing rope, and we're just going to wrap up towards where the back of the post is, just about there. Now we're going to come in with the rib. It's 3 turns. Cross it over and just catch it in. There we go. Make sure that that post sat up on the top. Now, the difference between a Crippled Midge and a Big Red is basically, one, it's the size. Big Red normally always tied on a size 10, but it's tied with a cock hackle, whereas the Crippled Midge is tied with a nice soft hen hackle. The idea being that it sits on the breathers, floats on the breathers, a little bit more struggling in the surface than the Big Red that sits quite proudly on there, and the hen hackle drapes into the water, giving the imitation of either struggling legs of a buzzer that's just hatching, or one that's been drowned and is sort of crippled in the surface, hence the name Crippled Midge. So we're going to go in with a black hen hackle. Want the barbs to be about as long as the hook shank. So let's trim away some of this flue. Now, some people, what they'll do is they'll tie this post up at the start, like you would with a clink hammer, really set it up. I don't like to do that, because when it's set up nice and proud, when you go to pull it forward, it doesn't pull forward as well, and also you get a little bit of a bump, which you don't mind on the Big Red, but on the Crippled Midge, I want it to sit nice and flat on the surface. So all I do, so as I've pulled away the flue, just going to catch it at the back there, 2 turns, pull my post forward, 1, 2 turns there, and then that's it. That's all I need to do. Trim away. Now we'll go in with the hackle pliers and just wrap round. Now every wrap wants to be under the one you've just done. Now there's no hard and fast rule on how many. Depends on how thick your hen hackle is. You want enough that it's going to help a little bit of it to float. Hackle pliers have just slipped off while I'm talking, but not too much that it looks too crowded. So that's my third full turn. You see there, it's looking a little bit sparse, so I'm just going to go for one more, and then pull this down towards the side of the hook, and then we're going to get the thread and we're going to work the thread underneath all of the wraps we've done, coming underneath and locking in the hackle that we've just caught in at the side. Go in, trim away. Now come in with a little bit more of the black hollow dub, again small pinch, little dubbing rope, and then push that up. All we're going to do now is I'm just going to lift that forward where I've just been catching it in. One wrap just to cover up all the thread we've done, and then come in, pull it back, come in front, and then a few more wraps there, and then all we're going to do is going to pull this hackle, pull this breather forward, pulling the hackle. We're going to move the hackle fibres out of the way so I'm not going to catch any in, and then 1, 2, 3 nice tight wraps, and then I'm going to lift it forward and then come in with the whip finish tool. 1, 2, 3, just to help lift up that post so it'll sit. Now, like I said, I want it to sit flat, so I'm going to push down my nail, and as you can see, the hackle fibres are now draping down into the, sitting a little bit lower and into the water. So I'm just going to trim this breather, and that's it, finished. It's an absolutely fantastic fly. I can't tell you how many fish I've caught on this pattern. When I was at Draycote, I used it all the time, guided with it all the time, always worked. I actually did a talk on dry fly fishing when I was there, and before I had to go out I had to get some pictures of this pattern, well, various dry fly patterns, and when you actually see this zoomed in on the water, the profile it gives is just fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed it. The materials for tying this fly are available on the Upavon website. If you have enjoyed the tie, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.